Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Keith Andrew, and you're watching the Keith Andrew Network that's available on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and all social medias. If you're watching, make sure to hit that icon on the bottom of the screen, like, share, subscribe. Our goal is to reach 500 to 1,000 views, and you're supporting a talk show host with a disability, but that's not really what the show is about. The show is about our guest. Now, our guest has been on our show before a number of times, and she's always welcome to be on the show. But one thing I do want to say, it's something different. For people who want to know what is the Keith Andrew Network, whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. So prove to them, stem out something. That being said, you do not have to have any type of disabilities to be a guest. Just the fact you're taking time to be on my show, you're supporting the host, and you have a full half hour to say and do whatever you want. This is your time. So it's a collaboration. You're helping me, I'm helping you. But you already knew that because you were a guest on my show a year ago. But the first thing I want to talk to you about is how you've been during this whole year. It's great to see you again.
It's nice seeing you again too, Keith. Well, it's been a busy year. As you probably know, I've had several films come out, and I also had films I am in the middle of filming. And I have some film premieres coming out this year, so a lot going on. Plus, I'm in independent wrestling as well, so I have all that going on. Um, there, the films I have on TV right now that you can find me in. It's called Homeless for the Holidays and a supernatural western, Unnatural. Both of them are Little Monster Entertainment, Breaking Glass Productions, both by the same company. And my other film, and those films are on Tubi, Apple, um, several platforms. And you can also purchase those movies um, from me, or you can go to Little Monster Entertainment website. And there's also posters, there's CDs, Al Snow bracelet that the director had had them made. They're made of genuine leather, really nice. I think it's 14 karat gold plated, very nice bracelets. Um, and there's posters also you can purchase. Now, the other film I have out is a fan film. It was called Friday the 13th Blood Loss, which I'm also in. And you can purchase those movies from myself, as well as you can look up Anthony Camano or his wife Mandy Camano, and they are the directors and producers of that film. And you can purchase from them, and they have other merchandise as well.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. So, we'll stick with the first film because it's on the screen as we're talking. It's Homeless for the Holidays. What can you tell us about the story behind it?
okay, the backstory is it's about this group of homeless people who found this rich man who wrecked his car. So they take his money and they go shopping for what they think what rich people wear. And then they take over his mansion. I played one of the homeless people. There's several of us. And starring WWE Al Snow. He is the leader of the homeless people. And I played Miss Kitty. She is a crazy cat lady who talks to imaginary cats. So she's not completely all there. Every one of our homeless people has something going on with him. You know? And see, Al Snow, he was dressed like a he had a top hat, he had a black and white suit on, you know. And then the film is a comedy. It's a Christmas film. It also has a heartwarming message toward the end. So it is definitely one to watch. And it was a lot of fun filming this movie.
It's funny.
It took us about 2 weeks.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It took about 2 weeks to film, but we actually got to stay in the mansion that we filmed it in. So that was a lot of fun.
While we're on subject holidays, Halloween's around the corner. That's in about 30 days, or give or take. But while we're talking about the Christmas movie, are you a fan of Siberia Orchestra? Because they're going to be around the New York area.
What was it?
Oh, try Siberia Orchestra. They're also called
Oh,
Sabotage too, but they're also put on Christmas shows, so they're called Tri Siberia Orchestra.
gotcha. Yeah, I've heard of them, but I never attended any of them.
If I find some songs, I definitely send it to you. They're actually really good.
Yeah, I would like that.
So the next film we're going to talk about is Friday the 13th. Now, with being a part of a big franchise that is Friday the 13th, because it's been around for a number of years, what was the experience like behind it?
Um, well, it's, of course, another Friday 13th. You got Jason Voorhees going around and killing people like always. Now, I can't say if I get killed or not because I just spoiled my part of the film. You'll have to watch it to see. But for my part, I worked at this like a fall festival type thing. And one of our employees I noticed isn't there, so I go wandering out in the woods looking for this person. Can never find him. And apparently, I'm walking around with an axe, and I stumble on some people, and then, to my surprise, there's Jason right behind me. And I'll leave the rest for chance.
And it's funny.
So,
Oh, go ahead. There
no,
is
I think that
there
was
is
it.
there is a delay. I do apologize.
That's okay.
But it's funny you should mention Jason because we're going to talk about this, then we take a quick commercial break. You were also part of Jason Escapes from Hell. What was that experience
Yes.
like?
Um, well, that film isn't done, so there's not much I can really say about that one right now. But Friday 13th Blood Loss has starred Beatrice Vocal, better known as Freddy Krueger's mother from Nightmare on Elm Street. And what else? She's done a ton of movies, but
But
and she was in original Stakeout with Emilio Estevez.
it is funny how they're connected, Freddy Krueger and Jason. So if they ever would do a part two, and that is a rumor, there was a rumor of Freddy versus Jason part two, they can actually put the connection in there.
Yeah, that would be pretty neat.
So the next one, actually, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about The Wrestler when we come back. We're back for the quick commercial break. It's Friday night. And if you're a fan of WWE SmackDown, available on the USA Network, Peacock, Netflix, and soon ESPN, definitely like, share, and subscribe to the Keith Andrew Network. But also like, share, and subscribe WWE SmackDown. Are you gonna watch SmackDown tonight?
I am not, unfortunately.
Well, it's always on the internet, so you're not really missing much. But the reason that
That's
it's a oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, that's true.
It's on the internet, so you can watch it anytime, any place, anywhere. But that is a good segue because you were also, were you? Did you direct or were you in the wrestling movie? Well, was done by Al Snow.
Oh, the wrestling movie. Al Snow is one of the actors in the film, just like myself. Um, I don't wrestle Al, but I played an Al Snow fan, which was a lot of fun. And it wasn't just me, but my daughter was also in the film. She played a fan. So the story on my end, I'm a crazy fan, and I take my daughter to a wrestling show, and I let her think she has a chance with him, but she don't. So I don't know how much and how little it's going to be, once they do the editing that's in it. But at one point, we go to the restroom and find Al Snow in there, and there's a scene in the restroom stall with Al Snow. So that was a lot of fun. And that was, I grew up watching pro wrestling on TV. And I saw my first live wrestling show back in 1980, 1979, somewhere in there. Back when, like, um, Ric Flair was out there wearing his robe and had his ladies beside him going, woo, that type of thing.
One of the greatest.
Back in, yeah, Dusty Rhodes, the Road Warrior, you name it, they were all there. So I grew up watching wrestling, and um, one of my fantasies or dreams, rather, when I was growing up, was I always wanted to be able to chase a pro wrestler in the bathroom. I always wondered what it was like. So I got to live my fantasy in a movie, and I even told Al Snow that, and he goes, "Well, it's not that exciting."
Well, speaking of Al Snow, I would love to have him on the show if you could put a good word in for me. But when I was younger, I was never a big fan of the Attitude Era. But Al Snow always walked around with Head. And the part
Yeah,
of the song is, "What's everybody want? Head." And I'm thinking to myself, I don't get it. And now I got older, I realized what the reference was.
yeah. He carried a mannequin head.
So the next one I
Well,
want to, oh,
in the movie, he actually wore one of his wrestling outfits, and he had his mannequin head with him, so it was a lot of fun.
there's a funny film. If I find it, I will send it to you. Mick Foley and Al Snow are walking around the SmackDown arena. It's before a show. It's wrestlers are like practicing or just sitting around. So Mick Foley sees, and by the way, I got the chance to meet Mick. Really nice guy. I would highly recommend him. Um, so Mick is with Al Snow. Al Snow has the camera and everything, and he sees Edge, Adam Copeland, aka Edge, and the audience like, "Hey Edge, here's a question for you. How many best of Al Snow matches does it feel?" I'm sorry. "Hey Edge, how many best of Al Snow matches does it take to make a best of?" And Edge is like, "I don't know. How many?" Mick Foley answers back, "Zero, because there's none." And then Al Snow, you hear him in the background, "I hate you. I hate you both." But he's a nice guy. I never met him, but
Yes,
I heard good things from him.
yes, yes, he is. I've done, it'll soon be 6 films with him, and he's always been very humble, very nice guy to work with, to talk to. Yep. Yeah, I will be filming my 6th film with him next month. So what do we do? It's a movie about this biker gang versus the elderly people of this nursing home. And normally I'm a good guy, and this time I wanted to play a bad guy. So, and Al Snow's on the good, he's on the good people side. I've
But
always wanted to play a villain type character, so now I get my chance.
it's
So
funny
I
you
play
mentioned
Big
that.
Mama.
It's funny.
I'm Big Mama in the biker gang.
It's funny you mention that. I actually have that. I think. Well, it's funny you mention that because two reasons. I wanted to talk to you about America's. You are a part of America's Most Wanted, and also, I'm just going back and forth right here, looking up for the picture. You were also in Desert Theme too. But what can you tell us about being on America's Most Wanted?
Oh gosh. Um, that was back when I was in college. I was an intern for the Washington Internship program. So I was lucky enough to work on the TV show of America's Most Wanted, which was in its prime at that time. Um, so my part was I was a hotline operator in the office. So during the week, I would answer phone calls and computer messages, emails on tips on the most wanted fugitives, on FBI's most wanted. And then on Fridays, I would go down, no, Saturdays. On Saturday night, when the show was airing on TV, we would go down there in the studio and take tips live while the show was on. Now, and I was on TV during the summer of 1999 every week. And I have one of those videos of that show from the segment. And the coolest video I have was when they captured the railroad killer. That was probably one of the biggest ones at the time. And I was very much a part of, helping them get tips. We worked close to the FBI and the Marshal, U.S. Marshals, you name it. So in the studio, there was always somebody like that who was looking for any hot tip on any of the cases that we were getting tips on. And if there was a hot lead, they were that quick on calling whoever to get to whatever location. So, and and then during my time there, besides doing that, I also worked on the FBI side of America's Most Wanted, helping them. Um, they would get emails all the time about cases that weren't on the air yet. So if you saw something and you felt something, then that was something to follow up on. And there was a particular case, I can't say much about it, but I had that turning the stomach feeling. I'm like, I wanted to go after this guy so bad, So I followed. I I called the police department, you name it, whoever I had to call on this particular case to get some leads. And then because I was still a little person, in a big company, I take it over to people and I say, I think this is a good one to put on TV. It needs to be done. This guy needs to be taken. You know, get this man in jail. So after my internship, I found out that I think they did put that particular case on, but I'm not sure. But anytime there was a capture, we had a pizza party and they had a conference table. It was like something you see on in the movies, and they would fill it up with pizza boxes for everybody to eat. But during my internship, I met um, all the people at Fox News because they're all in the same building. It's the Fox station where it was at. Of course, America's Most Wanted is not there now, but it was part of the Fox station. So I got to meet the Fox News people, some actors, the host for Unsolved Mysteries. So it was a lot of fun.
The last 5 minutes, I want you to be completely honest, brutally honest. When I first approached you again to be a guest on my talk show, what made you say yes? How do you feel now? And talking about the big elephant in the room, now that I charge, what was your honest opinion and what made you say yes? Because a lot of people say, oh, when you're interviewing people, you don't really ask them to support your show. That's why you have sponsors. So I want your honest opinion. When I approached you to be a guest on my show, but I told you was the amount of $42 you would be supporting the brand and the talk show host with disabilities. It is a collaboration. So for people out there, what made you say yes and would you recommend it?
Yes, I would recommend. Yep. I would recommend anybody to be on your show. Yep. 'Cause you seem like a good-hearted person. Um, you know, it doesn't matter if someone has a disability or not. We all have things we need to, you know, to grow from, no matter what they are. When you asked me, I was like, sure, 'cause it's been a while since I've done a podcast. It's probably been a few months, so I was all up for it. Absolutely. Yes.
And the reason I pay it's because I give you a long story short. I used to work in Walmart, and people would say, "You have this glow about you. You're so funny. You make jokes. You're entertaining." And you're like, "Well, in my free time when I'm not a cashier, I do a talk show." Oh, how many years? Oh, 12 years? You should be doing that for a living. You should have people should be paying you to be on your show. I'm like, okay, that's great. But at the same time, it isn't just like you're throwing money at me. In return, you get the exposure, you're being shared on social medias. I'm going to write an article about you. So you're hiring me to help you. So a couple people, nasty people out there, will try to ruin my reputation. But you know what? It's the internet. You're gonna find scumbags wherever you go. But the point is, I have a body of work. I've been doing this for 12 and a half years, and you are a supporter of mine because without any shadow of a doubt, I'm doing a good thing. I'm making a difference in the world. A lot of people like to take advantage of it. I'm not one of them, but I do have your support.
Yes. Yes, you do have my support on that.
I do have a couple questions for you off the air, but wrapping up, this will be shared on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok. Definitely gotta write that article about you. And you're more than welcome to be on the KeithAndrewNetWork. If you have any more films, you're more than welcome. Until we meet again, I want to say thank you very much for your contribution, for supporting a host with disabilities. And I can't wait to do a part 3. Until we meet again, I catch you later. Thank you and God bless.